That's why I record everything. It's not really for the other person. It's mostly for me because sometimes I'll say something and I'm like, what did I say earlier? And most and I could like include that in like my statement or just like something else.
Mhm.
So that's why I like to record everything because I feel like it's super helpful.
Yeah, I think it can be quite helpful too. Um, Maybe not recording everything, but definitely recording some things.
Yeah. Um, yeah. It's just because of the types of things I talk about with certain people. So I feel like it just, and it's nice to hear it and then reflect on it like in the future, like
Mm.
to see like progress or growth or lack thereof.
Mhm.
um, yeah. But I'm grateful you guys hired me at OCHI. This was so fun.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you, and we'll definitely be needing you frequently in the future. So I'm happy. Yeah, we trust you. We're happy to like have you back. Um, basically for every like opening reception week
Yeah.
where we need like extra hands on deck. Yeah, I'm bummed you won't be able to make it for the September opening or
Yeah.
for the yeah.
She sent it to me. I sent her my fall academic schedule.
Mhm.
It's open, but it's busy because there's two
I
ETs.
understand. But you're definitely like the person we would ask first to help with these like delicate, you're very good with people. I guess I should go into the notes for you.
Okay.
Um, for, but yeah, you're very good with people, obviously. Um, I think you can see things that are going on and you are able to respond and you're able to engage with people at a level that's very high. Like, um, where like I feel, very happy to have you like going out engaging on behalf of the gallery.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's about to come in.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Hi, how's it going? Let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, there's a press release up there and the checklist that you can scan for the, yeah.
Yeah, there's another couple pieces in here, and we have a second. The corner, yeah, just 2 doors down. Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah. People don't get in the shower.
They love it. We've had a ton of traffic. Except for the largest pieces, everything's been placed.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for coming through. Yeah, to the left. Hey there.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, so yes, you're great with people. Yeah, I will say though that I noticed on a couple of occasions that while we were having an opening and stuff, you know, you got too caught up in conversation with somebody that seemed to be a friend of yours, or I saw you on your phone. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if those were just like a couple coincidental moments at different openings, but that stuff is really important, like to be focused, to be like ready to engage with the people that are there. And yeah, I think it's like a delicate balance of feeling like you're available to everybody that comes in for questions. You know, it's also on the other side of that, like not being too available, like when there are people that are obviously like just trying to waste your time, or like specifically like older white men that like want to take up your time, or people that are trying to flirt with you or stuff like that. So it's really difficult, I think, to find that balance in the world, like in this space where everybody feels like they have the right to talk to you. And you do want people to ask questions. Like you can tell when it's somebody who's like scared to ask a question because they feel like they're not allowed to for some reason. And so you want to empower them by allowing them to like ask their very basic question that like, you know, you're going to have to answer those same questions again and again and again. And you have to do it with positivity, not with annoyance because they don't know the answer, because they've never been in spaces like us and they don't know, you know, and they really are like, you know, they want to know. So yeah, I think that for me it was like tricky to figure out the first few years I worked in these spaces. And now I'm like in a much, you know, it's easier for me to like swerve around energy I don't want to engage with, or to identify that like somebody wants to ask a question but is scared, or even like to talk to somebody who I'm like pretty sure is not a collector and then they turn out to be a collector. So, you know, it's really like, I think you have this energy and this ability to do it, but at the same time, because you're so good at it, like I can tell you that you can do a better job at it. Like, not that you didn't do a great job, but like I just see your potential, like to be a wizard at this stuff. And like, you know, yeah. So I think it's like definitely a place that I would like tell you to continue thinking about it and how you want to do it, because like engaging with people, I mean, specifically, because you have a very serious talent for it. And I think developing it will only benefit you in the future. So yeah. And then, yes, in terms of like research, you're really great at research too. And it's almost like I have the same kind of like similar feedback, which is that because you're obviously so good at it, and to be good at it, someone has to be like engaged with it and able to kind of like sift through masses of things in order to get to like the kernel of information that you need. And I did notice, and again, like this isn't really a criticism because I applaud your curiosity, like in all ways, like, but in a workplace like this, you know, I could tell that you were really interested in like reading through all the information that I was asking you to sift through to get the thing that we needed.
Mhm.
And I wish that you could have been, as someone working for me, I wish that you could have just like gone and gotten the thing. And like, if you wanted to flag that like website to read on your own time, that's great.
Yeah.
But you know, like again, I say it that way because it's like I appreciate who you are and your curiosity and that you wanted to learn all those things, but like I feel like we didn't accomplish some of our research goals,
Mm.
partially because, you know, we weren't working at the same times, which I realized, and then we switched that over. And I also understand that like it's this job, working in a gallery means that you're kind of constantly under deadlines, constantly putting out fires, and that kind of takes away from the scheduled workload that you're trying to map out to get accomplished. So like, again, I don't want to say that like anything bad happened, but I want to talk about it in a way that like helps you think about things, because I think our brains are structured in some similar ways. And so, you know, these are things that like we all like, or not we all, people like us struggle with. Yeah, so I think I'm just like, I'm like at a point where I have like read most of those things already. So I'm just like, okay, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, put it in there. Like, and I also like have been organizing information like this for a long time for other people too. So it's just, it comes very naturally to me. But yeah, it's you're very organized. I really appreciated how you tried to organize information
Yeah.
when it wasn't organized. And like, you know, it's been a struggle for me here because there are not a lot of systems put into place that were functioning very well. And there were like old systems, and we switched over into new systems, and it has felt fairly chaotic the last like year and a half in terms of the way information is organized.
Mhm.
And that's, you know, again, like you're coming in and out irregularly almost. So like every time you pop in, we're just like, oh my God, we really need help with this thing today.
Yeah.
You know, like we're under deadline for this thing. Can you please help us out? Whereas like, you know, I eventually would love to have someone like you on staff who's dedicated to these things. And so we could be slowly like building over time.
Right.
I don't think we're quite there yet, although, you know, the Dean photography thing has been like, that's the first time that both Polly and I have been able to say like, all right, like we have this massive problem of inconsistency working with these extremely expensive photographers who are not giving us their best work because they're charging us a lower price because we're a smaller gallery, and we are the ones suffering for that, you know? And so like, we were able to say like, this is a specific zone that we're going to try to fill, and like training someone to do that. But I've never done that before, and Polly's never done that before. And now I see how that could be like the way that we hire in the future.
Yeah.
But it was like after you and Max came on, and after us, like, is when we had that realization. It was just like, it was like there was like a photography fiasco like a week or two after you guys started. Yeah, and we were just like, oh my God, we're basically screwed if we don't get stuff in on time. I know it doesn't feel that way. To people that are coming in and out, it feels like this is a well-oiled machine in some ways, and things are just like happening, but like it's a struggle every single time right now. But I think we're getting there. We are getting there. But yeah, I think I appreciated how like calm you were able to be every time coming into different situations that were happening. And I felt like that was really, you're very professional in that way. And I appreciate that about you and your demeanor. and also the fact that you're able to pivot and do really basic things that need to get done that like I am doing, just maybe not in front of the team, but like I am also picking up trash. Like I am also cleaning surfaces. I'm just, when the team is here, I'm doing other things, like, you know, and so I think it's hard to get people to see that. We all have to pull our weight when it's a small business like this. There isn't like a budget to have a cleaning lady come in right now, except right before an opening.
Right.
But yeah, those are the things that I kind of wanted to share with you, because I think, you know, you have a lot of talent. I think if you are going to, you know, go for a job in a gallery, I think it would be different than being an intern, obviously. And I imagine that some of the things that I described wouldn't be an issue because you're like a dedicated staff person who has like, so, you know, but I wanted to give you feedback that was constructive and like, you know, identifying, I think a lot of times, like for myself, I find that my strengths, my like superpowers are also my weaknesses. And so, yeah, I would encourage you to continue like thinking about that, the things that you're really proud of, like what are, like, how are those things maybe hindering or blocking or like kind of heavy for you, and finding a balance with that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would also love to hear, that's all my feedback for you, but I would love to hear your feedback for the gallery, for me specifically, if you have it, or for any other team member, because it matters to me that, you know, if you have anything positive or negative to say, that's totally fine. You can be honest.
I plan to be. That was helpful. I feel like I agree with everything that you said. And yes, it's because I'm always at a show. So it's like every time I'm at a show and then like I'll be working and then like people I know will be there too. So it's always,
Yeah.
I think that's like also one of the things of just like always being outside in that way.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause I'm outside, but I'm outside in a niche way. So it's like every time I'm a part of that niche or community, it's just kind of like, it's fun, but I could see how at the same time it's like, I guess when people see me out, they're like used to me like not working. So then when you do see me working, it's like, why aren't you talking to me? It's like I have to work. So it's like trying to find that balance between like, yes, I am cool with you, but it's like I also am not trying to get in trouble at work.
Yeah.
It's definitely for sure. Like that's definitely a thing that I realized. I think OCHI is my first internship. Like I've had jobs, but I never necessarily had an internship, which is, you know, so I guess I had like a new set of eyes. Like in my mind, I'm like, this is a job, but it's also like I'm interning. So it's like my ability to just be, I guess, like receptive to what needs to be done. Like in my mind, I'm just like, well, let me just be open. Also too, like, I don't always know specifically how something is preparing me. So once I kind of accepted that, I became more open to doing like other tasks, even if I wasn't necessarily like interested in doing them, because my interest is kind of like beside the point if something has to get done. And that also applies to me in like my personal work. Like whether I want to do it or not, that's beside the point, because at the end of the day, it's like I want to do X, Y, and Z. But I think like, I feel like my position was like focused and then it became like very broad. And I think that's probably like the only, because it's like before when I came in, I knew exactly what I was going to be like doing. It's like, I'm like updating.
That's a good one.
I'm going to be editing bios. I'm going to be, like writing, maybe I'm going to be collecting images, maybe I'm collecting like press. And then because once it became broad, I didn't necessarily know what I was doing when I came in.
Mhm.
So because I didn't know that, then it would be like, okay, like, well, what are my tasks for today? What should I be doing today? Which is okay to ask. But it's like the organization of like things to do change, which is not a bad thing, but it's
Mhm.
like then the expectation is for certain researches to get done or certain like um just like information to be like done. But I'm like, now I'm working on something else or like building templates for something else, which is cool because then it's in preparation for whoever comes in next. But whoever
Mhm.
comes in after me, it's like the full scope should just be there. Boom.
Yeah.
And then if that person's like interested or wants to offer something because maybe they're like skilled at something different, and if you guys are
Mhm.
receptive to that, accept it. But there should be kind of like an accepted scope. Like this is what your job may or may not pertain. Like here are
Mhm.
all the things that it has the capacity to like contain. It's like you may be talking to people, you may be writing, you may be editing, you may be doing research. There are like in-house just like gallery maintenance that needs to be done. Just pretty much like the expectations fully, the full scope of the expectations for the position
Mhm.
instead of like starting and then it's like you start here and then it just kind of like deviates. I was
Mhm.
open to it because it's like I've never worked at a small gallery before. I mean, I have, but it wasn't like this. So, you know,
Yeah, I mean, when we extended your fellowship, your internship into the summer, I feel like that's the point where really like it got broader.
yeah,
And we just really liked you and we wanted to have you around, but like
I feel that.
we had only like really I had only thought about like these certain things that needed to have that I was interested in like having help with. But unfortunately, it was like because of our mismatched schedules at the beginning,
Yeah,
yeah, it just, yeah, all of those points I think are, yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy that you're saying that to me because it's good to reflect on. Yeah.
Because outside of that, everything's like it's fine. Um, it's not that I need rigorous tasks, but if they're like set in stone in front of me, like I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing,
Hmm.
that is very helpful. Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that could be very helpful. Like you started sending emails with bullet points. So that was nice because I could just like go down the list and like
Yeah.
share, you know, and the summaries, like those summaries are like super helpful because then I could share with you like what has and
Yeah.
hasn't been done. I also was BCCing myself because I was like, what did I actually do? So it's like just to keep log of like things that I've learned along the way. Um, because sometimes on my resume I forget literally what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah, totally. I hear that. Actually, yeah, that's another thing I should tell you is that everybody here really loved reading your summaries. They were written in a way that was like so charming in your voice, like very funny oftentimes.
Really?
And yeah, people really enjoyed those. I think the summaries are something I imagine like I love to hear what people accomplished during the week, basically. What are you proud of that you finished? Or like what's something that you did that like nobody asked you to do that you're like really excited about?
Hmm.
Because here it's really like we're not all on top of each other all the time. We're all kind of like off doing our own things. We have like a meeting at the beginning of the week and everybody's tasks are kind of outlined. But then there's like other stuff that's always coming up that has to be dealt with. But yeah, I like to have those. I really enjoy personally like those moments of like, oh, what did you struggle with even this week? Like, and why was that a struggle? Was it a struggle because you didn't have time allocated for it? Did you need help with it? Like, or you just don't like doing that kind of thing, or you're not good at it? Like, yeah, I think it's being able to talk about the work that we're doing where it's not like so authoritarian, where it's more like, okay, this is a big organism and we're all responsible for like different parts of it to keep it going. And like, so we're all collaborating on like the success of this thing.
Yeah.
At least at this level of gallery, at this size, that is how it feels. I think at different sized galleries, it could feel much more different. But yeah, let's like, for example, this week, Annabelle like took some initiative to go to an artist studio and kind of shoot some video of the artist working and the artist talking, and like she cut together a video and we all looked at it and we were just like, we had no idea you were doing this. Or I mean, I kind of knew, but we didn't like give her instructions to do it. She just did it and she showed it to us and she's like, I have this vision for this thing. And we were like, this is great. And we gave her feedback on it. But yeah, I think it's that kind of like independent thinker, somebody who like is ambitious in the sense of like, all right, like problem solving a problem that we might not even realize that exists, and if we're all kind of like responsible for different parts of the gallery, and then everyone is like problem solving, for their zone of responsibility, it makes for a much stronger kind of like camaraderie team effort. But yeah, it's great work, in my opinion. I mean, I've been doing it for like 8 years now, but it's not for everyone, and that's fine. There's like no,
Yeah.
I also like, I get the sense that, like you could go in these different directions. Like if you want to be an artist, you'll go be an artist, like, and you'll make it work.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a curator, that's different, and you would go do that too.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to open your own gallery, like I do feel like you could do that. And, then that's just, they're different paths. Not that you have to make a decision right now. Not that you couldn't try to do more than one of those things. But I think for most people, multitasking that stuff is hard, and will like end up in burnout,
It is, but
So
it's like really fun, which is why I'm like super committed to working in a gallery. Not only one, but like two, just to see. Because I mean, it's really just kind of like, you're a consistent go, but there's a certain point where you have a team, and that team kind of like makes the wheels go forward for you. Not that you're not doing it, but it's like you kind of like, oh, I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. But it's kind of like you do all these X, Y, and Z, and then at some point it's like, this is what I want to do. How can we make this happen? And then it's just kind of like you move forward with it. And it's like I like doing everything, but I feel like, I'm not sure. It's like I really actually like the writing part, but I also like talking. That's like the biggest thing, because even when I was talking to Ozzy when he came in, like I think he was just stopping in and we'd just talk for like 45 minutes while people were waiting for him. Because I just like have not only so many questions, but then it's like I always find a way to relate to people somehow. I think I've noticed when people have like conversations, I can kind of sense when someone feels like, or they've decided that they have nothing in common with the other person. And I think because I've sensed that, I've always tried to find something, because typically, we're all human. That's just like one thing right then and there. And so it becomes easier to communicate with people. But I feel like I lean more towards just like wanting to see people's process or just how they think. Sometimes I don't even need to see the art, just like, how are you thinking about things? I don't know if like the execution is always as important as like how someone's like thinking about just like life in general. And that's always fun. Because we're
I think I think like the things I have enjoyed and the things I'm good at, it's like taken time to like hone those skills to be beneficial to the gallery,
Right.
you know, and not just this gallery, like in meaning like beneficial to like what I think a gallery should be doing. So like, yeah, I love to chat with people too. And I used to have like 45-minute conversations with people when they would come into the gallery at different galleries, actually not at this gallery, because by the time I got this job, I feel like I understood like the value of my time, like the storytelling aspect is best spent in certain types of conversations with certain people and in the writing. And so, yeah, I feel like trying to find that balance of like, yes, I love doing this. Yes, I'm good at this, but like, what part of that, what part of that do I want to use? And how does that work in coordination, like for this goal? And for me, the goal is like the gallery doing well, but
Right.
like you could apply that to anything, right? Like my goal is that the gallery does well and I have all these skills and I have all these things I like doing, but like realistically, you know, having a 45-minute conversation with like an interesting person that comes in may or may not be helpful to the ultimate goal. Sometimes I think it's like, oh, I think this person is a curator, like I'm gonna engage with them more. And you have that long conversation and it can turn into eventually like an exhibition for someone. But, you know, yeah, I think being able to understand yourself, your skills, your talents, and the things you like to do really well, but also understand like what is like, if you're working for someone, like what are the ways that everyone at the gallery should be answering the phones, engaging with people. Like there's like a standard way of doing things at that gallery, like the kind of the model of interaction at the gallery, and every gallery will have a different one, you know. I don't know, it's maybe I'm going off on a tangent, but
No.
I've got to get working on some things today, but it's been a pleasure setting some time aside to kind of like, yeah, talk about your work with the gallery and also to hear about some of the things you're working towards.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun. I'll probably be stopping by. Don't be afraid to email.
Great. Yeah, I mean, we already did. You just weren't available.
Yeah, totally
We're gonna keep reaching out when we need, yeah, extra hands on deck because you're very helpful. So
okay. Yeah, just
yeah.
just let me know. I will have like a little cubicle of a studio so you guys could finally actually come to an actual studio.
That would be great. I hope you'll send us also like when Otis does open studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, please send us that stuff. We don't always get notified.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
For sure, I will definitely do that. Oh, before you go here, I'll pop in my website.
Oh, great.
I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I think I looked at it way back when you submitted your resume, but maybe it's changed. But yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah, every time I learn something new, I'm like, I could use that.
Cool. That's great. Well, I'll take a look at that.
Okay.
I opened it up into one of the like 50 tabs I have open right now.
I literally have like 70 tabs open. Like I was nervous. I was like, dang, like what if I have to share my screen? But then I'm glad I don't because this is crazy.
Great.
Well, thank you so much. Tell
Yeah,
Holly.
I will. Yeah, she's like out at a studio visit in Long Beach this morning.
Oh, that's fun. Who's she visiting?
Ellie Omar Gonzalez.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna be our show in late September in Idaho.
Yeah.
All of the paintings of basically a weed farm.
Wow.
Yeah, they're really beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be cool. I kind of want to go to the Idaho location just to see it.
Me too. I've never been.
Really?
Yeah, Kieran and Annabelle went for the last opening for Adam Barris's show, but I had to go to a family wedding that weekend, so I wasn't able to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I kind of want to, I don't know when. I'll go out soon. I'll be going out soon. It hasn't been like, there's just been like other business trips I've been taking for the gallery, and I was like traveling so much. I think I got a little travel burned out
I
at
feel
one
that.
point. It's really hard. I was doing like a week of travel, a week back here, a week of travel, a week back here. It was a little too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And with the wedding too, that was especially hard with the wedding planning.
Yeah, how's that coming?
It's good. Yeah. It's in less than a month.
That's exciting.
I'm really excited about it. I love Jean-Michel. He's
That's so
amazing.
sweet.
He's the best. He's my best friend.
That's so cute.
He's my human being. I'm so excited to be married to him. He's really
Yeah.
special.
Oh, that's so exciting. I'm happy
Yeah.
for you. That's
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice
All
to.
right. Well, we'll see each other soon, I'm sure.
Okay, yes.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Sunny.
much. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.